Hey, family, and welcome back to Sophia Does Whatever. So, my husband and I just returned from seeing Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and we just wanted to give you a little feedback about the movie. So, would you like to begin?
Start, I might not finish.
I know. I'm going to just try, honestly, I'm going to try to get through this review without getting emotional. Um, I kind of like going off of you, but just cut in when you're ready. So I want to start off with the storyline. I really enjoyed the storyline. Um,
Yes.
I didn't really know what to expect. Honestly, I didn't. I don't even. I don't believe I watched the trailer, so I kind of went into the theaters not really knowing what to expect. But I enjoyed the storyline very much. I love the villain, Namor. Namor. Well, they said it could be Namor, Numor. In comics, it's one way. Movie, it's in another way.
Yeah.
Meaning no love. I really enjoyed his character. I thought he was pretty cool. I thought the blue people were beautiful. I thought all the characters were beautiful, honestly. I love their underworld. Atlantis. Well, in the comics, it's Atlantis, but in the movies, it's the underworld.
And I mean, that's about it. It's like, okay.
No, I know you have a lot to say.
Well, I personally thought the movie was amazing.
It was.
And in a lot of ways, is better. We on this channel, what we're going to do is we're going to give you the truth. There's all kind of crazy reviews. And,
yeah.
Good and, reviews saying it wasn't so good already on YouTube. Over here, you're going to get nothing but the facts. That's the first thing you need to know, right? So here's what we think. Here's what I think. And you're going to hear from both of us. But I really think that this movie was far better than the first one in a lot of ways. Because the first one was about character development, but you can only go but so far when somebody's not willing to draw blood. When somebody was determined to be noble and a good person, you can only get but so far. Before I get into that, I just want to say the movie did an excellent job of pacing, as I said in my last video.
Mm-hmm.
Pacing.
2 hours and 40 some minutes.
Yes.
Of movie time, so they were able to take their time.
Yeah, that's key.
But the movie was so good, honestly, it didn't seem like 3 hours. It really didn't, and I could have stayed for another, honestly, a full 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's how much I enjoyed the movie. That's how much we enjoyed the movie. That
definitely.
If it was 4 hours long, I would have been fine with staying for the whole 4 hours.
I wish it was, because
you wanted more, right?
I really did. Imagine you spending time with somebody, and then you're like, I only got 15 minutes for you, I only got 30 minutes for you, I only got 45 minutes for you, and I gotta go. You're gonna be like, if you're actually enjoying your time with that person, you're gonna dread the moment that time is up. Let's say you're in a, you might go to therapy or something. You really need to get stuff off your chest, and then your therapist is like, oh, we're coming up, we've got 5 minutes less, and you're not done yet. You really need to be in that environment. And that's what Black Panther was for us, Wakanda Forever. Black Panther was a very emotional movie, but it also was a very enjoyable movie, full of action and, character development. And speaking of which, shout out to M'Baku. They did M'Baku right. They gave him justice, in my opinion. I felt like in the first film maybe they treated him more like a clown, but in this one,
you think so?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit.
You know what? I guess I think I understand why you say that.
I feel like in this movie, they gave him more of a purpose, and I really like that about it. The purpose wasn't just to be like, hey, I'm here to oppose you, I'm gonna do the opposite of whatever you say. I really like that they, gave him depth, character depth, which is important. Okay, a character can be big on screen, they can have a lot of screen time, But if they, I feel like a character needs to be more than just surface level. They need to be what's below the surface, you know, like iceberg, right? You can see how wide it is left and right and how high it goes, but it probably goes a lot deeper below the surface. And I think that's what they explored with M'Baku this time around. They really fleshed him out and said, okay, this is what the purpose of M'Baku. And I really love that about, you know, this movie this time around.
Well, let's talk about Sherry.
So Shuri,
Because she stole the film for me.
yeah,
She really did. She was impressive. I don't even know. Do you know her from any other movies besides this character?
No.
Well, I mean, make way for Shuri, y'all. What's her name?
Letitia Wright.
Yeah, well, make way for Letitia Wright because she showed she's got acting chops in this movie. I was very impressed. Very impressed.
One thing I will say is that when I first saw the trailer for Black Panther, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't want to go see the movie at all because I felt as though this was maybe like I don't know why. Looking back at who the director is, I don't know why I got the impression that this was a feminist take on, you know, a masculine film because the director is a black man who's a pro-black man married to a black woman. So it's not like I really had any good reason to think that. The trailer, as my wife told me, does not tell the whole picture. And so if I had not gone to see the movie, full disclosure, I would have regretted it. You know, we actually walked into the theaters a few minutes after it started, but like a few minutes into the movie, I was glad I was there. It was excellent. And
it started off really good. It got my attention early on. I mean, we walked in. Well, we walked in. I'm pretty sure we didn't miss too much because from what the other reviews said, is it started off with. I don't want to spoil it, but it starts off with like a memorial for T'Challa. Well, basically, they said it starts off with just explaining what happened to T'Challa. That little part we missed, but we came in when he was. I don't want to say buried because he didn't get buried, but that's how it started. Well, that's what we walked in on. Yeah. But yeah, it was a lot of sad moments. It was a very emotional film for me. And for you as well. I know I looked over at you, and there was moments where you looked really sad. So was I. I just appreciated, you know, how they memorialized Chadwick Boseman / T'Challa in the film, which I respected and appreciated. And there were moments that you could see the actors and actresses, like you weren't sure if it was like just acting or if it was their real emotions, but I want to probably say it was probably their real emotions, you know, which helped them really dive into their characters because, I mean, it's one thing, you know, you're watching a movie and the character dies in the movie, but it's like, wow, like this character he's gone, you know? So you don't have to pretend, like you know what I mean? And
I know exactly what you mean.
I think that during those scenes when they were memorializing, you know, T'Challa, of course, in the film, but I think they were also memorializing Chadwick Boseman in real life, and I could see the emotion in their eyes, which like caused me to get emotional, him to get emotional, and our 13-year-old son as well. So you know that really really touched me, and I like the fact that they you know never really let his character die through the movie. You know, from beginning, middle, and end, you didn't forget about T'Challa. You know, you didn't forget it. Even after the credits, they didn't let you forget him. And I appreciated that very much. I think we all do. Marvel fans, Black Panther fans, Chadwick Boseman fans.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I'm so glad we didn't gloss over that because that was a huge part of the movie. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't going to say anything about it, but I'm so glad that you did. So, yeah. As far as Letitia Wright, I mean, you know, Shuri, she went through a lot in the movie. You know, she went through a lot. She did a lot.
She was on a roller coaster, man, with emotion.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be in her position, you know.
No.
Yeah, and you know, I like that certain things that happened in the movie were catalysts for her certain choices that she made. especially when she went. Dang, should I talk about that part? I'll put it this way. There's a surprise guest in the movie.
Yes,
and
there you go.
I was extremely happy to see this person. They were necessary. They were necessary, and I feel like, when this surprise person showed up, I feel like it was proof that when you go some places in life, you are around the people that you need to be around. You experience what you need to experience. You see what you need to see in order to help you develop. Now, that's not always the case, but in this movie, that's exactly what it was. So when you do see this surprise guest pop up, they didn't just throw that person in there to get the crowd going. It was a
purpose.
There you go.
They had a purpose. They had a purpose.
It was necessary,
Yes.
Now I want to talk briefly about doing what's necessary, because this was something in the movie that my wife and I disagreed about. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. My wife is more of a diplomat, and she's taught me a lot about diplomacy. I've come a long way, learning to get more bees with honey than vinegar and all that. And it's been great. It's the journey, But in this movie, I felt like this movie was proof that you can't, at some point, everybody needs a hitter on their teams. They need people who are willing to go to war and to make the ugly choices. Because if you want to go around thugging and threatening people, there's consequences.
True. And I agree.
I feel like that's what the movie showed. Like, you can't go around talking smack and threatening people and sneaking into people's houses and stuff, and thinking that nothing's going to happen to you because you all G'd up and you've been around forever and ever. Like, everybody's a god to somebody, but from what I hear, there's always somebody tougher than you. So what are your thoughts on that?
I'm peace, he's war.
I'm not war. I'm just, I'm willing to do.
No, you're not war. You're not war. Yes, that is how you are. I was more so, again, you'll understand what we're talking about when you actually go see the movie, but I supported Shuri when Shuri wanted to, I guess, try to come up with a solution, a compromise. She wanted to compromise with, the other side. And then the other side is pretty much like, listen, there is no compromise. We want blood. We want war. And I was with Shuri, like, hey, like, let's talk about this. Let's discuss this. Let's try to come up with, a way that we're both happy. So, I supported Shuri. He supported the no more.
I kind of looked at Namor in this movie as like when I saw Independence Day. Everybody used to love that movie when it came out. And there's that famous scene when the president goes to talk to the aliens. He's like, what do you want? He's like, can there be a peace between us? And the alien says, peace, no peace.
Yeah.
Die.
Yeah.
And if somebody's going to draw the line in the sand for you and say either you do this or this happens, they've already told you that there can't be any peace. And if there can't be peace, then you gotta feel like you gotta do what's necessary to defend your people and defend the people you love, and protect yourself. Most of the world doesn't take too kind to bullies, so there is that. Okay.
And let's talk about the music and just the colors and Wakanda and the people and the melanin and the wardrobe. Lord have mercy. You would have thought I was in church and I had the Holy Ghost, because let me tell you, the wardrobe, people, the wardrobe, give that woman an Oscar. Because I'm gonna assume it's a woman. The wardrobe.
Yeah, the costume.
Even in the beginning scenes when the queen walked up in there, that conference room, I guess you call it, and the men behind her. Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah, it was dressed.
Woo. They look. It was like COVID in style. The way they had the mask on, like just the queen. Every outfit, she was just stunning. Angela Bassett.
Let's talk about
Shuri looks so age appropriate and just yes, it's the wardrobe. Oh my god, it just blew my mind.
Let's talk about Angela Bassett for a second. You know, I'm gonna be honest.
Listen, she is a queen.
Yeah, definitely. Sure.
She is a queen.
Yeah, she is, and I know that I'm jumping ahead, and some people will be like, "What? Why would you say that?" I'm gonna miss her when she's gone, and if I'm gonna miss you, it's because you made a positive impact on me, and she is amazing. She's not just a beautiful woman; she's an amazing actress.
But she's a look at the legacy she leaves behind, though. Right. I mean, she's truly an icon and a legend for sure. And honestly, they need to give that woman her flowers because I don't feel like they have. For sure. Yeah. I don't feel like they have, but definitely. Yeah, this woman literally brought like an Oscar-worthy performance to a Marvel film. People, like, you get what I'm saying? This is a Marvel film that she brought an Oscar-worthy performance. Now, I doubt she'll get an Oscar for it because in their eyes, it's a Marvel film. It doesn't deserve to be up against, whatever. But, I mean, Angela Bassett, I mean, she really, really brought her A game. I mean, she always does, though.
And her hair was beautiful. Yes.
I see. Listen, this was our first time actually seeing her hair in the film, right? Yes. And instantly, when they showed her with the gray crown, I was just like, Storm. That's all I can envision in my head. I envisioned Storm.
Definitely need to pull Storm from Africa. Marvel, get on that. Storm needs to come from Wakanda. You heard that here first. Yeah. Storm needs to come from Wakanda. Yeah. Get it done.
And anything else you have to say?
Can't forget about Namor. Namor in the underwater city. Yeah. The underwater city is gorgeous. It was gorgeous. They didn't force anything. It wasn't an underwater club like some idiot I heard on the review say earlier. Some people on YouTube clearly know what the hell they talking about. How was it a club? Can't appreciate it.
There was no DJ.
Just shut up and get on YouTube.
They weren't dancing underwater.
There you go.
They were just living
they
underwater.
Just living their best life.
I don't know.
And so was I watching the movie. What's up with these people?
Yeah. Like I said to him too.
Just to get people's attention.
I felt like it was like take Wakanda and put it underwater. Oh, yeah. Now, was Wakanda better? Yes, it is. It's Wakanda. We're going to be biased. But to me, it was almost like, Wakanda underwater. It was just stunning. It was beautiful. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. The people were beautiful.
Yeah, people were very beautiful. The Atlanteans, they were very deadly. Very deadly people.
Oh, yeah, they didn't take no
very
stuff.
Interesting people. They had some amazing weapons at their disposal. I mean, anyone who can control the parts and animals of the ocean is definitely somebody to be feared. They were definitely had some very unique weapons that I have never seen before. Man. So I was very impressed by their culture, but also just they were beautiful people. Very beautiful people. I love their accent. I love the backstory of Namor.
And I loved all the languages.
Yeah, the languages.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Like,
that's a good point.
In Haiti, they were speaking French, of course. Yeah. In Wakanda, Wakanda has their own language. Right. Namor, his people had their language.
Yeah, good point.
And then Lupita's character, she was speaking Spanish. It was I just was so here for all of it.
I really enjoyed. I felt like Namor was an essential. Obviously, he was an essential part of the movie, but they did him justice. I felt like there was a lot of depth to Namor. I understand why he made the choices he made, but obviously I disagree with, the choices that he made for the most part. And like I said earlier, you can't go around thugging and threatening people and thinking that there's no consequences. Somebody eventually is going to bring you down to their level or below. So, that's just my take on it. I think that the movie went in the direction it needed to go. For Shuri to earn her stripes and her place and her respect, and also for Namor to learn some respect. So that's.
What did you think of the girl that was like Iron?
Ironheart?
Was that?
Nah.
Is she in the trailer?
Yeah, she's in the trailer. I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like she was annoying.
Agreed.
And
agreed.
Whatever. You can be a smart person that talks too much, sure. It was good to see black representation.
Yes.
Of black intellect.
Representation matters.
Because a lot of times we see black people on the big screen and they have the big mouth, but they don't have the big brain to go with it.
Yeah, but then also, either they have to be a slave or a prostitute or a drug dealer, or a crackhead, or a pimp, or a criminal.
Yeah, some kind of criminal.
So it's real. That meant so much to me. I explained that to you earlier.
You did.
Why I was I left out of the movie theater with such a heavy heart, not in a bad way. Okay, not in such a bad way, but just because I was so emotional because I was just telling my husband how important it is for our black sons and daughters to see representation on the big screen, and so to see a scientist, and what is Shuri? She's just a genius.
She's also a scientist.
So just these two young black beautiful women, who are brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, that just, wow. Two black young women on the screen at once who are both just geniuses. And bouncing ideas off each other's brains. It meant more to me than I think anyone could possibly know.
I want to piggyback on that because I mentioned something earlier. My fear was when I saw the trailer, this was going to be like a feminist wet dream, and it wasn't like that. This wasn't like I hate men movie or I don't need no man type of movie. I didn't get that vibe. This was a movie about processing the trauma that comes with life, making hard choices and dealing with the consequences of those choices in the best way possible. Whether it's the consequences of your emotional trauma, or whether it's the consequences of diplomacy, or going too hard or going too soft, when it comes to interpersonal relationships or interpersonal communication. I feel like that's the direction the movie went in. There was I don't remember seeing any anti-male mindsets or behaviors or themes in the movie.
But the thing is that they support one another.
Well said.
You know what I
mean? That's what's necessary.
And you'll see that
for the black community.
Yeah, in some of the battle scenes, they're just there. They have each other's back. They support one another, and that's how it is in a community.
That's how it's supposed to be.
That's how it's supposed to be.
That's how it's supposed to
be. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it's like. You have Wakanda and you have the under Atlantis, right? And both their goals are to protect their people. As simple as that. And that's what causes, this. And that's, at the end of the day, that's all they both wanted. And that's why I said I respected both. I respected Namor and the Wakandians because their purposes are the same, to protect their people. Any means necessary. So he just wasn't coming in to, try to take control or, he had one purpose. But I loved the movie. Yeah. I loved it. Yeah,
they definitely did Namor right. They did Namor justice.
I loved the movie.
They did Namor justice.
I have nothing negative to say. The only thing I will say is that white character. I'm only saying the white guy because I don't know his name, so I'm just so you guys understand who I'm talking about. But the guy, I believe he's like the CIA, cops or CIA. Yes. He wasn't necessary.
It wasn't necessary.
What was the point of putting him in the movie? He literally didn't add anything to the movie.
Nothing.
at all. Stop. He didn't add anything to the film. He wasn't necessary. Ryan Coogler, next time, just leave him out, please, sir. But Ryan Coogler, you did your thing. You did your thing, okay? Phenomenal.
Very much.
There were, honestly, I'm like, where's the CGI? I know you're there, but I can't tell. I couldn't see it. It was just, I can't even express how good it was. I loved it. I want to go see it again. Probably will see it again before it leaves theaters. Definitely want to own it on Blu-ray. I mean, it's a must. I really struggle with if it's better than the first one, and I want to say that it is, but I'm just like biased to both films, so I don't really want to compare the two. So I'm just going to say I love them both.
It's because Michael B. Jordan was in the first one. That's why she can't say it wasn't.
Oh my God.
No, I'm kidding. Michael B. Jordan didn't make the first. He helped make the first movie what it was. So let's not forget that. Without his
Okio?
Yeah.
That's my girl. She was fantastic. That woman, first of all, that woman's melanin, okay, is just stunning. And this is another thing that I didn't appreciate is why they would put in there the like comedic, parts about Alkio's bald head, calling it ashy. Like, I was offended by that personally. I don't feel like it was necessary. I felt like her bald head was beautiful. It was shiny.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And her melanin was
the
popping.
The whole Dora Milaje is bald, aren't they?
Yeah, like there were I think 2 jokes about her head ashy and all that. I was offended by it, and I just felt like it wasn't necessary. So they could have left that out.
Not a good look.
So I don't know why they felt like it was funny to insult this woman's beautiful, bald head.
Because it is beautiful.
But whatever.
Yeah.
That was the first time I had some negative to say about it.
That's fair.
But that's literally
it's called
it.
Constructive criticism.
That's all. Yeah. That's the only thing I had to say. Other than that, the film was an A+. Was
that your score?
Oh, absolutely. A+. Loved it. Loved it.
Definitely an excellent movie. Didn't want it to end. Y'all need to go see it. Definitely
for sure. Check it out.
Yeah.
Do
it before people ruin it for you.
Yes.
You're not gonna get a spoiler-free review. Past like Friday or something.
Yeah. It's Thursday. The movie literally came out today. My husband and our son, we went to go see it at 4:00, and there were no spoilers because we didn't, like I said, we seen it early, so no one got to spoil it for us. And I'm so grateful that they did it because it allowed us to appreciate the movie that much more because there were so many surprises, good and bad. And when I say, well, no, I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. But there were just moments where like our chin hit the floor. Like literally, like what? Why? Who? Where? Like just wow. And stay for the credits. There's just one scene at the end.
I mean, there's technically 2, but the second one is not a scene.
It's not. It's just
it's an image.
Yeah.
So you stay for it if you want.
Yeah.
You made it this far. You can stay through the movie. You'll be all right. You stay through the credits. You made it through this thing, but I mean, so you give it an A+?
Oh, absolutely.
I give it an A.
I loved it. Just an A?
I definitely give it an A. Just
not an A+.
Not A+.
Because that would mean it was perfect.
Yeah, I'll give it an A.
Well, no, you're not going to change my mind. I know you weren't trying to, but it was an A+ for me. I loved it. I want to see it again.
Yeah,
it was a beautiful film.
It was well done. Very well done.
Rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman.
Yep.
We love you.
Yep.
Rest in power. All right. Do you have anything else to say, baby? All right. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night. Hope you check out the movie. Come on back, leave a comment down below and let us know what you think. All right. Bye. We're always in each other's head. I lied to you know I was going to end the video with this. 1, 2, 3. Wakanda forever.
Oh, shucks. We did it again. Nice.
All right. Thanks, you guys. Have a good night.